Hey Streetboard family, what is up and what is good? My name's Robin Pickering and welcome back to the Dragan channel. If you're joining me today, you've probably just bought yourself a really cool Dragan board, but you don't know how to set it up. But that's cool. Stick around with me and I'm gonna show you how. Let's go! When you finish unboxing your board, this is what it will look like. You'll have the bar assembled to the plates via the kingpin system. You'll have the wheels, spacers, bearings, risers, truck bolts, and NGT trucks. And to start setting up the board, we're going to lube up the kingpins. For this step, you're going to need a bottle of Dragan lube, an Allen key, and a 13mm wrench. So what we're looking to do now is remove this bolt to get at the kingpin system and break it down into its components of 2 Teflon discs, that metal washer, and this bolt. You don't have to do this step, and it's entirely optional, but you may find that after transport, your Dragan board is a little bit stiff, and it's recommended that you do follow this step now, because when you try and do it later, and you've got your trucks and your wheels and everything on the board, it's going to be a lot more hassle, so it's easier just to follow it and do it now. So let's go ahead and do that. Now we have the kingpin system broken down, let's apply some Dragan lube. For the big disc, you're going to want about 4 or 5 drops, and for the smaller disc, you're going to want 2 drops, one here and one here. On the big disc, you want to apply the oil to both sides, but on this disc, just one side is sufficient. Now place the big disc face down with the side you've just oiled. That's the oil side, down it goes, and give it a little turn. Now oil the other side of that big disc. Same again, just 5 drops, small drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now you can understand why that bottle will last you a lifetime. Okay, now we've oiled that, we have to put this plate back on the bar. Place the big disc onto the front of the board. So your big disc is between the bar and the foot plate. And just give it a little turn as well. Just help work that lube in. Now, take your little disc, the one you just oiled, and place it with the oil side facing the back of the bar and give it a little turn. Just work it in there. Okay, then finally place your washer on the back and replace the nut to complete the process. Okay, now we can tighten this back up. Be careful not to over tighten it because you don't want to stop the plate from moving. Just tighten it up until you feel a pinch, and then just slacken it off ever so slightly. Not a lot, just slightly. And you'll find now that your plate is free flowing. Okay, well done. You've just lubed up your kingpins. Next up, we're going to put these trucks on. For this step, you're going to need your truck bolts, your risers, your NGT trucks, and an Allen key. Now before we go ahead and set up the trucks, there's something really important you have to know. Your trucks have a front and a back. This side is the front. This side is the back. That is to say, this side should be facing outwards at all times. So this points to the nose or the tail, and this points into the bar. I'll show you what I mean. There's your plate. That's the direction your truck should be on. This side faces outwards of the board. All right, now we're clear on that, let's continue the setup. Start off by taking your truck bolts and placing them through the front of the plate. Now take your risers and place these onto the bolts. Now, take your truck and your Allen key, and remember, with the big end pointing out towards the nose or the tail, place your trucks onto the bolts. This step can be a little bit fiddly, so just use your Allen key to line up the bolts onto the holes and gently just work them in a little bit at a time. Remember to go evenly and slowly. Don't over tighten, you just want to get to a nice pinch. When you finish, you'll feel that your trucks are really secure to the board and there is no gap in between the riser, the footplate and the truck. So now we have this truck assembled, I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. Okay, now the truck's run, we just have to put on the wheels and we'll be ready to ride in no time. For this final piece of the setup, you'll need your wheels, spacers, bearings, and either a 13mm wrench or, more preferably, a skate tool. Start by removing the nut from the thread of the truck. Take a plastic washer and place this over the thread and screw it and push it down until it reaches the base of the thread. Next, take a bearing and place this over the top. Take a wheel and place this over the bearing, and with your hands push down onto the bearing until you feel either a click or it won't push any further. And you'll know it's in place because you can take the wheel off and the bearing is inside the wheel, sitting happily and flush. Now, take another bearing and place this over the thread into the wheel and just gently squeeze on it with your thumbs. Finally, take your nut and place this onto the thread. Now proceed to tighten the bolt using your skate tool or wrench ever so slowly and ever so slightly until you see the bearing get pushed into the wheel, but don't over tighten, just go until it starts to pinch and stop. You'll see now the wheel turns, but not very much. All we're going to do now is slacken off the nut a little bit at a time, just checking to see the wheel spinning until the wheel spins freely on its own. A little bit more. Perfect. Now proceed to do all the other wheels on the board. Boom! And with that, the wheels are on, you're ready to go. Congratulations, streetboarder, you've just set up your first streetboard. Feels good, right? If you found the video useful, then please like and subscribe and turn on channel notifications so you don't miss any new content. And if you really found it helpful, stick around and I will show you how to set up your neo-brain bindings on this board. Until then, stay safe, stay tuned, keep your dragon, and me and Charlie will see you on the next one, won't we? Mwah! Boom!